Welcome back, dear subscribers. The story kicks off on icy roads where a prison van cuts through the snow. Inside, a few dangerous inmates are being transported under heavy security. The air is thick with tension. Guards stay alert while the prisoners' faces show fear and unease. On the way, the van stops at a gas station for refueling. The inmates are allowed a short break to stretch and use the restroom. But when the guards start counting them back inside, one prisoner is missing. Everyone panics, and a search begins immediately. Moments later, behind the restroom, they find him, the movie's main man, Kraven. Soon, the prisoners reach the facility and are locked inside their cells. The next morning, Kraven is out in the yard working out when a few tough inmates try to mess with him. But Kraven isn't just any man. He fights back hard, taking them all down with speed and power that leaves everyone stunned. After the brawl, he's taken straight to the prison head, Simon. Turns out, Simon already knows him. With a mocking smile, Simon says, "This place will change you soon." But Kraven's anger flares when he notices a lion skin rug on the floor. Glaring at Simon, he warns, "Hunting doesn't suit you. Be careful, or someday, someone might hunt you." Simon's face burns with rage. He attacks Kraven, but Kraven fights back. Grabbing a lion's fang as a weapon, he strikes Simon fatally. In seconds, the prison head drops dead. Now, Kraven can't be stopped. Guards open fire, but the bullets do nothing. He climbs walls, leaps across barriers, and escapes the high prison wall like it's child's play. Outside, a snowstorm rages. A wolf appears, ready to attack. But one look into Kraven's eyes and the beast freezes, backing off in fear. A helicopter waits for him nearby. Kraven jumps in and takes off. Over his headset, he reports, "Mission accomplished." And that's when the first major twist hits. Kraven was never a real prisoner. After that, the story jumps 12 years back in time. Here, we see a young Kraven and his little brother, Dmitri, in school. Suddenly, their father, Nikolai, shows up to pick them up, taking both boys from London to New York. On the way, he delivers a heartbreaking truth. Their mother is gone. She had been battling mental illness for a long time, until she finally took her own life. The news shatters Kraven completely. He blames his father for her death, believing that if Nikolai had cared more about the family instead of his business, maybe she'd still be alive. But Nikolai dismisses it coldly, calling it fate, God's will. The very next day, instead of taking them to her funeral, he drags his sons on a hunting trip, showing us just how heartless the man truly is. Then, the story shifts, introducing a new character, Calypso, a sweet, innocent girl living with her grandmother. Her grandma was a gifted tarot card reader, and Calypso dreamed of following the same path. Before passing on her wisdom, her grandmother gives her 3 special tarot cards and a glass vial. But this wasn't an ordinary vial. It held a secret formula, capable of healing even the deepest wounds, maybe even bringing someone back from the brink of death. That sacred gift had been passed down through generations, and now, it was Calypso's turn to carry it. Meanwhile, we return to Kraven's father, Nikolai. He was a professional hunter, a man who built his fame and fortune by killing animals. That was the family business. But Kraven hated it. That day, when he failed to hunt down a lion, Nikolai's frustration boiled over, and in rage, he shot a deer instead. As night fell, the family set up camp deep in the woods. By the campfire's glow, Dmitri lightens the mood with his little tricks. He had this unique talent, the ability to mimic anyone's voice perfectly. He starts imitating his father and brother, and for the first time in a long while, Kraven laughs. The next morning, Nikolai takes his sons out for another hunt. While they're setting up, another hunter named Alexei shows up, offering to partner with him. But Nikolai, proud and arrogant as ever, turns him down instantly. He even mocks Alexei, humiliating him before sending him away. Meanwhile, Kraven and his younger brother Dmitri wander deep into the woods, lost in play. Suddenly, a massive lion appears right in front of them. The air turns cold with fear. Kraven steps forward to protect his little brother, raising his gun toward the beast. The lion locks eyes with him. Its rage fades for a moment. But then, seeing his sons in danger, Nikolai fires a bullet. In a flash, the lion leaps at Kraven with incredible speed. Nikolai fires again and again, but the beast doesn't stop. Wounded yet unyielding, it drags Kraven away into the forest. Just then, Calypso and her parents, who were nearby for a hunt, arrive at the scene. Calypso finds Kraven lying unconscious, covered in blood. Without hesitation, she uses the mysterious elixir her grandmother had given her and pours it over his wounds. That's when we witness the second major twist. Along with the potion, a single drop of the lion's blood seeps into Kraven's body, and from that moment, everything changes. His body begins to transform, gaining the lion's strength, senses, and resilience. Even the doctors give up, declaring him dead, until suddenly, he gasps for air and rises, alive. filled with wild, untamed power. Nikolai brings him home and mounts the lion's head on the wall, a trophy of pride. But Kraven is furious. He tells his father, "You shouldn't have killed him." From that day, Kraven's compassion toward animals grows even deeper. Nikolai, however, wants Kraven to quit studying and follow his footsteps, to become a hunter like him. But Kraven refuses. He doesn't want to build a life by killing the innocent. One night, unable to take it anymore, Kraven decides to run away. But before he leaves, Dmitri catches him. Tears in his eyes, he says, "Mom's already gone. Dad doesn't care about me. And now you're leaving too." Kraven's heart breaks, but he knows there's no turning back. He explains, "If I stay, he'll force me to become a killer. I have to go. I'm not leaving you. I'm just going to Mom's old place." And with that, Kraven walks into the cold night, heading toward Russia, leaving behind the world he once knew. As Kraven walks through the dense forest, he suddenly spots a herd of bison charging straight toward him. For a moment, fear grips him. But then, something strange happens. One of the bison stops, standing between Kraven and the herd, as if protecting him. It's like the animal sees something royal, something powerful, deep in Kraven's eyes. With that, Kraven escapes the danger and makes his way to the old house, the one where he once lived with his mother and brother. The place is silent, frozen in memories. As night falls, hunger drives him out into the wild. That's when his true strength finally reveals itself. He's no longer an ordinary man. He moves like a beast, fast, fierce, unstoppable. The spirit of the lion inside him has awakened. One day, while wandering deep in the forest, Kraven hears gunshots echoing through the trees. Climbing up a tall tree, he sees two hunters shooting down helpless bison. Watching them suffer fills him with rage. He leaps down and confronts the hunters head-on. With fire in his eyes, he says, "You've already killed enough. I'll let you live, if you leave right now." But instead of backing off, they laugh, aiming their guns straight at him. Big mistake. In the blink of an eye, Kraven attacks, swift, brutal, merciless. Within seconds, both hunters lie dead on the ground. Then, the story shifts back to the present timeline. After escaping from prison, Kraven has returned to that same old forest house. But peace doesn't last long. He hears hunters again, and this time, he won't stay quiet. He follows the sound and finds a group of Russian poachers cutting off bison horns and loading them into a truck. Enraged, Kraven steps in to stop them, but they hit the gas, driving straight at him. Kraven leaps onto the moving truck with lightning speed, and what follows is pure chaos. A wild, high-speed battle erupts. Kraven tears through every last hunter inside the truck, one by one. But one man manages to escape. Kraven catches his truck's license number as he drives off. The poacher races back to his office, shaken and terrified, only to freeze in horror. Kraven is already there, waiting in the dark, surrounded by blood. Something terrible has already happened. Kraven picks up a black leather notebook lying on the hunter's desk, the hunter logbook. Every member's name is written inside. He flips through the pages but doesn't find the man's name. With a cold smirk, Kraven says, "Damn, you don't even exist in your own crew. No respect, huh?" But then he spots the name, right there, written in blood-red ink. Without hesitation, Kraven snaps. He brutally kills the man and walks away in silence. Later, investigators discover something chilling. Both victims were killed in the exact same way. That's when Kraven's real mission begins. He makes a vow. Every name inside that hunter's book will be erased, one by one. This becomes his purpose, to protect the wild and every creature within it. Meanwhile, the story shifts back to Calypso. She's no longer the little girl from before. Now she's a skilled lawyer, fearless and dedicated. But her work has earned her enemies. She's been receiving death threats almost daily. One day, while attending her friend's funeral, she stands there, broken and lost. As she leaves the cemetery, a familiar voice calls her name. It's Kraven, standing right in front of her. He shows her the same tarot cards and the mystical vial, saying softly, "I'm the one you saved years ago, and I killed the man who murdered your friend." First, she doesn't believe him. But later that night, when she checks the report, she sees the truth. Her friend's killer was found dead. The file says he was taken down by someone named the Hunter. Now, Calypso is sure Kraven is back. He asks for her help. And soon, she receives the same hunter list, every name marked with blood. Realizing the scale of this war, Calypso makes a bold decision. She'll join Kraven in his mission. Together, they start planning the ultimate hunt. Not for animals, but for those who slaughter them. And that's when the story finally brings us face to face with the main villain, Alexei. His men inform him, "There's a man named Kraven. He's been taking down hunter groups one after another. Our own leader is dead, killed by him." But Alexei doesn't flinch. Instead of fear, a cruel smile spreads across his face. He's already planning his next big move. Alexei heads straight to meet the rival gang. He doesn't waste any time and says bluntly, "Your leader's already dead, killed by Kraven. Now, I'm taking over your entire business." Some of them agree immediately, but others dare to challenge him. And that's when the truth hits hard. Alexei wasn't just a terrifying man. His real form was far more monstrous. Hidden inside his body were biomechanical tubes that helped him maintain a human shape. But as soon as he pulled them out, his body began to mutate, muscles expanding, bones cracking, until he fully transformed into a raging beast. The sight was so horrifying that every gangster in that room froze in fear. One by one, they all bowed their heads, accepting Alexei as their new boss. Meanwhile, the story shifts to a much calmer scene. It's Dimitri's birthday. The house is glowing with celebration, laughter echoing through the hall. But that joy doesn't last long. Suddenly, armed men storm in, firing bullets everywhere. Chaos breaks out. Dimitri hides under the table, trembling, while his father, Nikolai, fights back fiercely. Somehow, Nikolai manages to defeat the attackers, but his anger turns toward his son. "You couldn't even protect yourself," he yells. "How will you ever protect this family's empire?" At the same time, something sinister unfolds inside a Russian prison. A deadly hunter, capable of hypnotizing anyone, infiltrates the facility. With just one look, he manipulates an officer and brutally kills him. His mission: to eliminate Kraven. But Kraven isn't there, because Kraven has already escaped. He breaks out of prison and returns home to celebrate his brother's birthday. The two sit down for dinner, laughing and reminiscing about their childhood. Soon, Nikolai joins them, trying to convince Kraven to take charge of their powerful business empire. But Kraven refuses. He's not interested in wealth or control. For a brief moment, the family forgets their differences and enjoys the night together. Later, Kraven tucks Dimitri into bed, smiling softly as he leaves the room. But the next morning, that smile fades. Kraven enters Dimitri's room and finds it empty. His brother has been kidnapped. Without hesitation, Kraven tracks down the kidnappers. What follows is an intense chase through the city. Kraven leaps across rooftops, crashes through walls, and takes heavy hits like they're nothing. But before he can reach them, the thugs escape in a helicopter, leaving him staring up into the sky, burning with rage. Broken and desperate, Kraven shows up at Calypso's door. She doesn't hesitate. She agrees to help. Kraven tells her what he remembers. One kidnapper had a tattoo. He was smoking a Turkish cigarette. That clue points them to a Turkish gang. Kraven demands $20 million from his father, Nikolai, a ransom to get Dimitri back. Nikolai refuses. He won't bow to thugs, not even after the kidnappers send Dimitri's finger. Anger and pain push Kraven into action. He won't wait for ransom. Calypso rides with him. They find a man who knows the Turk's location. He sells the tip. Kraven storms the hideout. He rips through the gang like a force of nature. The hunters fall one by one. No mercy, no hesitation. His lion strength makes it look effortless. At last, he reaches the Turkish man. Under interrogation, the thug coughs up the truth. Dimitri is with Alexei. Cut to Alexei's lair. He tries to sway Dimitri. He whispers promises. "You don't matter at home. Your brother will kill your father someday. Join me. I'll give you power." Dimitri listens, torn and tempted. Kraven now knows where his true enemy is. He and Calypso head home to prepare. Weapons hang on the walls. Kraven crafted some of them himself. This isn't a skirmish. It's the final fight. It will end only when one of them is dead. Just as Kraven and Calypso brace themselves, Alexei's men storm in. Turns out, Dimitri had tipped Alexei off about Kraven's location. Chaos erupts. Bullets fly. Animals from the forest join the fight, helping Kraven in ways humans couldn't. Meanwhile, a hypnotic hunter, Christopher, traps Kraven. He's about to kill him when Calypso strikes. She shoots an arrow straight through Christopher, taking him down instantly. Once again, Kraven escapes death by a hair. Alexei, still thinking his men have killed Kraven, faces an unexpected threat. A massive herd of bison charges toward him. To confront them, Alexei removes his biomechanical tubes. His human disguise falls away. Before anyone's eyes, he transforms into his true form. Rhino, a monstrous, unstoppable force. Kraven arrives just in time. The ultimate battle begins. Man versus beast. Rhino's brute strength collides with Kraven's speed, fury, and cunning. Each strike Kraven lands barely scratches him because of his thick armored skin. Then Kraven spots a metal rod. With all his might, he smashes it into Alexei's chest. Rhino staggers. That's Kraven's signal. The herd of bison storms in, trampling Alexei. Moments later, Rhino lies dead, finally. For a second, everyone breathes, thinking the nightmare is over. But Dimitri arrives, reminding Kraven that one last fight awaits. His opponent, none other than his own father, Nikolai. Nikolai stands tall, roaring, "I'm a hunter, and I'll hunt until my last breath." Kraven doesn't want this fight. He can't kill his father with his own hands. But fate intervenes. A wild bear appears, attacking Nikolai and ending the hunter's reign forever. A full year had passed. Everything seemed calm. Time moved on. And Dimitri's birthday came around again. Kraven visits his brother, expecting the usual warm reunion. But he freezes. Dimitri's face, his attitude, everything has changed. Dimitri announces, "I'm taking over father's business, and this game, I'm running it now." Then, shockingly, he shifts his form. Dimitri now wears Kraven's face. He warns, "Stay out of my way." Alexei had given Dimitri a new, deadly power, the ability to change his form. Combine that with his voice-mimicking skill, and Dimitri had become even more dangerous. The hunt had a new master. Dimitri restarts the Predators game, taking control of their father's empire. In the final scene, Kraven finds his father's old jacket and a letter. It reads, "A hunter never stops hunting. You know who your next prey is." The camera pans to Kraven's shocked expression. The next hunt was no stranger. It was his own brother, Dimitri, and that's where the story ends, leaving the audience on edge, craving the next chapter. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps us motivated to bring even better content. See you in the next video, and thanks for spending your precious time with us.